What is happening, troops? Welcome to the World Cup Roundup, brought to you by Wireless, the best place to keep up to date with everything related to this year's World Cup. We're going to be bringing all the drama as it unfolds, from results to reactions and everything else in between. To kick off the series tonight, we'll be covering our predictions for the group stages, along with the final awards for the tournament. So, we've got a pretty good show planned, but how are we feeling, boys, before we get into it?
Aye, feeling good, aren't we?
Aye.
Buzzing for this. I mean, what a place to start, man. 5 World Cups you get. Well, 5 World Cups we've had in our lifetime.
Aye.
And we've maybe watched 2 or 3. So, aye, to get another chance at the biggest sporting tournament in the world. Buzzing. What do you think, Biggin?
Aye. I think it'll be entertainment, to say the least. With the boys watching it and, you know, covering every aspect of the World Cup. So
Every aspect.
It'll be cracking, mate. What about you?
Exactly, mate. Months in the making for us, but this World Cup is set to be, I think, the biggest World Cup of all time, of our lifetime anyway. So
Definitely.
the date we use over the next 4 weeks is going to be brilliant, and also the listeners at home.
I think it's a pretty special one this time as well, because this tournament will be the last really of all. See all the players that we watched growing up, the greatest players of our generation. This is pretty much the last
So
shot.
it's
It's
like
facts.
25 minutes in here.
Modric.
Modric
Messi,
alone.
Ronaldo.
We'll get into it, obviously, but obviously we're talking about Lionel Messi and Ronaldo, but Modric has gone under the radar. I mean, this guy is the best midfielder in our generation.
I've definitely seen Adam Moy.
Anyway,
Right, okay,
Zidane.
so just before we get into the predictions, I want to kick us off with a wee segment of the show we're calling the Big 3 Points.
Oh,
fantastic.
I've picked a starting 11 of I've picked a starting 11 of players in a 4-3-3 formation. It's players who have played for a team in Scotland but also represented their country at a World Cup during or since 1998. Each episode, I'll give you the big 3 points or the 3 clues. What you'll do from there is has 3 guesses each, sort of 1 per point, and if you guess the player correctly, you win yourself the big 3
is that
points.
1998?
Onwards.
Yeah, 1998 onwards.
Nice
this
one. Cool.
So if nobody gets the player after the 3 points have been given the 3 clues, everybody forfeits the point. So just to give you guys an example, if I had Artur Boric in mind, I might say I won 3 league titles with Celtic. I'm Polish and I was Bournemouth's Player of the Year 2016-2017. So
Is it Artur Boric?
it was
How-
Artur Boric. How did you get that?
How's he caught that?
That's pretty good. That's
Round
pretty
of
good.
applause, man.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Right, so just to lend a bit of competition to it, the player with the lowest number of points between us, and obviously that extends to a couple of boys that couldn't make it tonight. We'll be rotating the team as we go. So the player with the lowest number of points at the end of the tournament will do a forfeit picked out by you guys as the listeners on Twitter. So head over to @WirelessPod to get involved. So
It will be me.
This is going to be.
No, it'll be me.
That's going to be a
It'll be
Carlos
me.
forfeit.
who wants the first big
Let's
point?
go for it.
It is.
Cool. So the first big point. This player played with Vedran Chorluka, Shaliam Logan, and DeMarcus Beasley.
Can I hazard a guess right now?
Has a guess right now if you want.
Is it Thomas Cherney?
It's not Thomas Tierney.
Right, so see, this is how I'll lose this.
Is this a keeper?
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I should have said that. We'll start with the goalkeeper, and each week we'll move on to the next.
So it's
position
a
within the squad.
it's a keeper.
Goalkeeper.
Mark, I don't even know who the last 2 players were that you mentioned.
So I'll give you the clue one more time, right? This player played with
It's not
Vedran
gonna help me, Mark.
Chorluka, Shaliam Logan, and DeMarcus Beasley.
Do we guess?
Yeah, you take a
Okay,
guess
that's
each.
fine.
Yeah.
I think you might have thrown us off here. I think Alan McGregor.
Alan McGregor. No, it's not Alan McGregor. He never hasn't
In
played
a World Cup?
Oh, aye.
Hasn't played at World
It's a
Cup.
bit late, boys.
Fantastic.
Yano Black.
Played with Shea Logan.
When's
When's he won a World Cup?
So he's won a
Oh,
World
sorry,
Cup?
no,
won a
no,
World
sorry,
Cup?
no, he hasn't won a World Cup. Has he played at the World Cup? or
Aye,
what?
last one. Russia.
Possibly.
Russia.
I don't know if he's played at a World
Possibly.
Cup.
Of course he has.
I don't think he played at Aberdeen with Shea Logan.
He definitely never played at
No,
Aberdeen.
no, lads,
I never
lads,
said.
please-
Hold on, I never said he played with him at Aberdeen.
Please understand this. I don't have a clue. I have to make a guess, don't I? I don't know.
Anyway, what we'll do is I'll filter them in sort of as we go, so it comes in a wee bit and breaks up the show. But I think the best way to kick us off is if we start with Group A predictions. So if you want to start us off.
Yes. Right. So I've went with. Am I starting with first? Or I'll start with the bottom.
Work it however you want it. Get
Right.
funky.
So I'm gonna start for the bottom. I think Ecuador are pants, man. Honestly, if Ecuador get a point, right, I'll dare. Here, if Ecuador get a point, I'll dare forfeit. right?
If they get a point,
If they get a
If they
point,
get 1 point,
they got
clip
one
this.
point.
Clip
Clip
this.
this.
Clip it.
producer.
Clip it.
Clip this.
Right, if they get a point, I'll do a forfeit. Qatar in third, I think, very underrated, man. I think they're very underrated. I think you'll go more in depth for this.
Meh.
Nah, let's be honest, our pants are not. But
For me, well, we'll get on to mine, but yeah, do you know what? We'll come back to mine. We'll come back to mine.
I think the Dutch will finish second.
Second.
That's a bold shout,
I think
that.
Netherlands will
That's a big
finish
shout.
second. I think Senegal are just, I don't know. I see all the big players. They just seem to be big players, but that's the thing. It's not just like in other years they've had Michael Essien. Like, I mean, Ghana had Michael Essien and that. It's not like that. Like, I mean, Mane is. Let's be honest.
With no Sadio Mane though.
Sadio Mane's out now. He's been
He's
confirmed
out.
out. He's been ruled out.
Oh really? I
All
thought
that
he was still
witchcraft
coming.
didn't work.
No,
No,
so he's
he's out completely.
Yeah, he's out. He's injured. The initial hope was
Well,
that.
still, man, still like the likes of like Koulibaly's been unreal.
Mendy as well.
That's what I was
Yeah,
going to say as
Mendy.
Yeah,
well.
I think
Mendy,
they've
like-
actually got the best goalkeeper in that group.
Yeah, I go with that.
in
I'll
that
go with
group.
that.
The Dutch keepers have been bad for a long time.
Yeah, they're going to start 39-year-old
Tim
Tasvir
Krul,
as well.
to be fair, Tim Krul was at the penalty stopping king for a while. He was.
He's
Aye, but he was
unbelievable.
mate, he was subbed on. I don't remember that time. Remember that time he was subbed on? Oh my god, remember that? What was that? The Euros?
Ridiculous. No, it might have been the last World Cup,
I
wasn't
think
it?
that was the last World Cup.
I
wasn't
did. He saved the penalties for Costa Rica.
Aye, he saved three, didn't he?
2014.
Was it
World
three?
Cup, aye.
2 3?
2014.
That's when Costa Rica got through the group of England
Aye,
a year ago.
but-
That was a pretty special tournament for
That
them,
was
but we'll come back to Costa Rica later on.
I still think Senegal first. I think we'll do a couple of upsets this year, and I think that would be the first one. I mean, what has the Dutch really done in the last 10 years? Apart from Ajax getting to the Champions League,
I agree with you. Before you obviously move on to Group B, they did decent in the Nations League. I know Nations League's a bit of a diddy cup, but it's still an international
we done
trophy
good in the
as such.
Nations
Listen,
League.
aye, yeah.
We did. But I get what you're saying. The Euros were very disappointing. Who's it? The Czech Republic they went out to.
Aye.
Remember us watching that when we were out?
Aye.
And they were terrible.
Not the
They
shot.
were
What's
shocking.
your predictions then? How are they going to fare this?
for,
this
for,
tournament?
for Group A? I think Netherlands will finish first, if I'm
Mhm.
honest.
Yep.
I'll be swayed between dropping Senegal into third
Mhm.
through Sadio Mane, but I agree with Connor. I agree with you when talking about the quality, especially defensively, but they still got Ismail Assar, like
Yeah,
good
mate,
players.
agree.
Watch Saar.
100%.
Watch Saar this World Cup.
I
man.
think-
Watch Saar.
They will finish second. It'll be very close between the game between Senegal and Ecuador will be a good game. I think that will determine who finishes second.
Wait, so you
I think Ecuador finished third, and I think Qatar will be the first host to not score a goal.
Not score a goal.
score a
score a
goal.
goal.
Right, well, if I'm doing one, if Ecuador don't get a point, he's doing a forfeit for saying they don't score.
whatever
Yeah,
the
so
list-
if Qatar scored a goal, you do a forfeit.
Whatever the
First game.
whatever
The one, mate.
the
Very
top
first
like
game.
comment on the post on Twitter, I will do.
I don't know.
You're
I think
definitely getting
that's-
egged, mate. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Ah, yeah.
I'm
eggs,
safe, you're
Eggs
getting
on
it.
heads. Eggs on heads. So what are you saying?
Right. Netherlands first.
Mhm.
That's a given. I done a wee thing in work.
Given.
A Shea given.
I should
That's a shea given.
Wow.
I done a wee thing in work. Now I said some questionable shouts, just off camera, like we'll get to that. But wait, what do with the goals and how I think games would go.
Yeah.
I had Ecuador coming second.
Wow.
Um,
I'm no mad about that.
no,
I'm no mad about that.
So
I'm
are
not.
we all completely different then?
well, we've not got to Jamie's yet, but finishing third has to be Senegal, and like you says, Qatar,
Scud books.
Scudbicks. Nah, they're,
No, man. I can't see it, man. But
there's too much pressure on them
Are they
with
being
all the
written off too early?
controversial
I
stuff.
think they're getting. I think
Are
they're
they
getting
being
enough
written
too
off too
early.
early? If you
Jamie
take into
boy.
consideration, right, there's only ever been one team that hosted the World Cup that never get out of the group stages. Are we shutting them down too quick?
Nah.
Aye, because if
I think you've got to take it at face value.
if you know if you
Yeah, well,
if you
that's
understand how they've ended up with this World Cup, right? They invested a lot of money years ago into bringing players into the league. They've invested this. They've been building structures. They've been building a league. They built a league. I know that long ago, but they've invested a lot of money into the league.
A lot of these players as well have actually played in the stadiums already. So for the last
And
year,
al-
Qatar's been using these stadiums to
And also,
to be broken in by local
a lot of
tournaments.
these Qatari players are Brazilians that were scouted years ago. They're Brazilians. Mate, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
In Qatar?
If you look into the squad, right, when like they went into like the favelas. This is facts. You can start check this. They went into the favelas. They went in. They done youth camps and stuff all over the world, especially in Africa, and brought players out of Qatar when they were young, right? Housed them, blah 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 blah, and then gave them contracts, and then says, "Oh, aye, if you sign this contract, you have to play for Qatar." There's not a lot of Qatari football players in this Qatari team.
Well, one thing as well before you move on to your Group A, Jamie, is they stopped the league midway through September to focus on this World Cup. So they've got 8 weeks of sheer training.
Yeah.
So this Qatar team has been training for 8 weeks. So I get your points there, but I just don't see it.
No,
and also, just so everybody knows, I got my facts for Tifo. So
They will be Qatar. So I'll break down my sort of 4-3-2-1. I've got Qatar and Ecuador finishing. I've got Qatar at the bottom and Ecuador just above them in third. But I think their game will be a draw, and I think they'll both get scudded off the teams above them.
Right.
The reason I think Qatar will take points off Ecuador is, like you say, they've had 8 weeks to focus on this one game. It's everything's going into it, or these games, I should say. So what I'll say is, don't write them off. I think that there is potential they could cause an upset, but for me, I have still put them at the bottom because I just think there's too much quality spread throughout the Netherlands team, particularly in the midfield. And then Senegal have obviously got top players right through the core of their team. Idrissa Gana Gueye, Edouard Mendy.
I completely forgot about Gana Gueye.
Mate, Gana Gueye, he's one of the players that doesn't get talked about that often. But anytime I've seen him,
He's been okay this
shocked.
season for Everton as well.
Well,
Not
yeah,
poor
he's
for
a-
midfield.
he's a-
Yeah,
He
I
ended up
find him
solidifying
surprisingly
himself.
brilliant player. I think he's very, very good, and he goes under the radar. I don't know what the reason is for it, but I think he's slept on.
Yeah, he ended up solidifying himself in a PSG team.
aye, that you loved that in FIFA, mate. That's all I heard.
Did.
Facts.
So what we'll
Definitely
do is
did.
we'll move on to Group B. We've all covered Group A. So Craig, what's your prediction for Group B?
I think first will be England. I don't think they'll be great. I think the first game against Iran especially will cause a lot more upsets than people think. I think previously I had the USA second. I just don't see it. I think they're very weak. Mentality more than quality weak as well. They just seem like an under-14s team to me.
Do you think that's people doing that thing that we always do with America, that if you think about how far their league in general has progressed over the last, just say, 5 years, are we still putting them at the times of Clint Dempsey, and are we still linking them with that time where there was a couple of good players that played in England and that's about it?
No,
No, I don't think so,
necessarily.
because see their team, it's all over Europe now.
It's stacked now. This is
You've got players in every league, but I just don't see it. I've got Wales finishing second. I think Gareth Bale will surprise people because no many people are thinking he will do well.
Has he played enough football to justify?
I don't know, he's not, and that's why I think it will surprise a lot of people. I think he's not injured. He will start, even if
Who
if
plays in
he's.
support? Because he's one player. It's easy enough to single out these world
Yeah, of
superstars
course.
because all these teams are
Mate,
going to be sprinkled. with
Aaron
them.
Ramsey's played 2 games for Nice, mate.
Yeah, so that's what I
2
mean.
full games, mate.
That backs up my question.
of
I'm
course.
asking. So who's going to support him? Who's going to provide that?
You've
Who's
got
going to
to
get the
like-
ball to
I
him
was being
because they're not-
sarcastic there, by the way. Aaron Ramsey's pants.
Yeah, I know that's
He's
it.
a bad football player.
Yeah.
You've got the likes of.
Well,
You've got Brennan Johnson at Nottingham Forest, who is their main man, you could say. Wales's main man, maybe beside Bale and Ramsey. But that's maybe because Bale and Ramsey's been in the squad for, 10, 15 years
What do you
now?
think about James?
I think he's a super sub.
It can cause problems because lightning pace, if we see in football, doesn't matter if you don't get the best of quality, pace can get you a far way. And especially in a tournament format, I just think they've got enough to pip USA to second. I've got USA finishing third. And as much as I said Iran will give England a hard game, I do see them finishing fourth. But between fourth and second, that could really intertwine. Iran could finish second, USA could finish last, Wales could finish last. But I think the format from 1 to 4 for me is kind of set in stone.
what are you saying?
Craig kind of echoed it there. I've got England coming first, Wales second, USA third, and Iran fourth. I just don't see, enough of an upset to happen. I think the game's kind of set in stone. I think England will win all 3 of their games, to be honest. Maybe not convincingly. Wales, again, it comes down to the games against USA and Iran, and I just think they nip quality, do you know what I mean? I just think they do.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe we're not giving credit to Iran and Qatar, but I just feel like the three other teams, like, I don't watch enough of Iranian football.
Yeah.
But that could, World Cup Qatar, it could shock us.
Oh, if I could again, and I'm gonna look into the camera and I say this is another clip. Right, clip this. England do not make it through the group. Clip this and see when we come back to it. They do not make it through the group. USA finish first, then it's Wales, then it's England, and then it's that
I hope you're
team
right.
that play in that miles away place.
I don't know what
Iran,
you're smoking, man.
But
Okay, so
I'm telling you,
break down your picks, your 4 picks.
it's USA, it's Wales, it's England, it's Iran.
USA top the group.
USA top the group.
Given their form through qualification,
Horrible form through qualification.
And they want their manager out.
They do. And
it's
those-
similar to Mexico. I think it's the
Mexico,
it's the
they're
weakest.
trying to kill their manager, bro.
It's they both had similar qualifications. I don't know if you watched the series on Netflix, Captains, where it basically follows Jamaica
Yes.
and a bunch of other teams.
I
Very
didn't
good, isn't
watch
it?
it.
The quality is really, it's honestly, mate, it's really good. If you've not watched, I'd recommend watching it.
Was that on Prime? Did you say?
No,
No,
Netflix, Captains.
So it follows Jamaica, and I'll just make it quite brief. But they play them both, and both times you see Jamaica are a poor team, man. Jamaica are a very poor team, and
One
they
of the
ran.
worst teams
Aye,
right now.
Aye.
Well, they've managed to grab a good few players, Antonio and that.
yeah, I get that, and obviously we get Kemar Roof as well. And I listen, they've got a couple of good players, but they're a very poor team. They don't function well as a team at all.
Especially compared to the quality USA should have.
100%. But at the same time, they ran USA and Mexico close. But so you're saying USA top, despite the form.
Mm-hmm.
Second Wales,
Yep.
Third England, and you're putting Iran to bottom.
Iran at the bottom, and I don't see with this England team, man. I just there's been no plan for the future for them. It's players that have been there, done that, and failed.
I would dispute that. You've got players like Phil Foden. This will be his first
They
World
got
Cup.
to a Euro final for
but
a
mate,
reason.
Phil Foden is incredible. He's one of the
Conor
players.
Gallagher was picked over other experienced players.
But
like
Conor
James
Gallagher
Ward-Prowse.
won't play. But it's
No, but you're saying they don't have a plan for the future. I would
They have
dispute
me.
that based on what they've done.
I think it
Based on
means
what
the
they've
likes of
picked.
Yafikayo tomorrow.
I'll get back onto my point, obviously. But Maguire, stupid. Cody, stupid. This is for me. It's stupid. There's no other way to describe it. I mean, if Connor Cody's good in the dressing room, he's a captain and that. His team loaned him out, so it can't be that much to have good in the dressing room if your team's loaning you out.
Yeah, I back that.
So-
For me, I agree. Right, okay. So there's definitely question marks to be raised over this England team. I don't dispute that at all. Their form in the Nations League was shocking, but you look at the last 3 international tournaments that they've been in. They got to the
And they've been
semi-final in Russia. Then they got to the last 2 tournaments they've been to the
Semi-final and
semi-final in
final.
Russia, and then the final of the Euros, where they were beaten on penalties
Aye.
off the back of a set piece equaliser from Italy.
Aye.
Okay, second half, Italy, in my opinion, battered them, right? Absolutely battered them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, mate, they stayed well. They stayed strong defensively.
Aye.
They got themselves through the game, almost with the exception of a set piece. And then it was in their hands to win it, and they bottled it on penalties. So people are sleeping on England because of that form. I think that's daft. I think that's a dangerous.
I'm not sleeping on them. I just don't see. I agree with what you're saying, right? They've been good, but it gets to a point we've seen it with every single international team, especially the likes of the Dutch, the Italians, and maybe the last couple of years the Germans. You can be dominant and obviously Spanish as well. You can be dominant for a certain amount of time. You can't always be good. There comes to a point where you flop, and I think this is England's year to flop.
To counter that, I actually don't think English dominance has started.
No.
I think it's going to get better for them.
Yeah,
I completely disagree.
I think it's
All
gonna
these
get
players
better
that you
for
think are incredible, they had their Wayne Rooney's or Gerrards or Lampard couldn't do it. But it's the one that I'm talking about especially is like you're saying the Tomori, right? You've took Cody and Maguire, right? And you've no took Tomori. Listen, this guy's just went and won the league with AC Milan. Like,
Like I say, I agree. There's question marks to be raised, but I've actually got England at the top of the group. I've got England at the top. I think I've went with USA to pit Iran. I think it'll come down to the game between those two. That'll be the last group stage game in that group. I've got a funny feeling USA and Iran will be sitting on a point each, and USA will put them to it on the
That's
on the final
specific,
day,
man.
and that'll
That's
let them
specific.
through. That's what I think. That's the way I see it going. And I just don't see this thing with Wales this year. And I see people backing them to finish second that. And listen, I love Gareth Bale, so I almost wouldn't mind them proving me wrong. But in the same breath, what is Gareth Bale doing right now that's going to make me think he's going to beat players that are playing every week?
100%.
It's-
no, he's not doing anything.
I actually don't think there's much
He obviously
between.
he scored the goal. I get that he scored the goal that took it to penalties. They won the stuff in America. But for me, you need to be playing at the top level to be considered a superstar.
Yeah,
And
I
he's
don't
just
think
not.
there's much between Wales, USA, and Iran. I think it's very, very. That's probably one of the closest groups between second and fourth.
Definitely one of the closest groups.
I think it is. I think people are sleeping a lot because it's an English group. They see the likes of Iran and they kind of write them off straight away. Wales haven't been great. USA have got their critics. But between Wales, Iran, USA, no matter what order that is, I wouldn't be surprised. Definitely not.
Yep.
What are we saying for Group C then?
Argentina top. But
I think everybody agrees with
I
that.
think that's how we start it. But
I think Argentina are going to be one of the teams who finish in 9 points also.
Yeah.
I was really unsure whether to go with Mexico in second or Poland in second. I think Poland, on paper, have a much better team. I think, especially with the situation going on about Mexico, I think you'll probably touch on that. But I think, obviously, the likes of Lewandowski, you can't rate the guy off, right? You can't rate off Lewandowski, but Mexico just seem to always turn up in these tournaments, man. They just always seem to just do something, and you're like, that team's rotten, and they just seem to turn up. I don't know how they do it, but so I've went with them second, I've went with Poland in third, and then Saudi Arabia I've went fourth.
What are you saying?
Argentina first. Did you see before I carry on? Did you see Marcelo Bielsa in the Poland camp?
Poland? Oh, I've seen this.
So I'll explain.
You
sorry.
explain it, man.
So Marcelo Bielsa took clips of the last 50 Poland games, right? Like he done. Remember he done it with like
Leeds,
right? So for the last 50
Spies.
Poland games and done presentations, a half an hour presentation, each player. It was 65 players, right?
What?
I mean, sat him down. Now I don't know why, because he's Argentinian. They're in the same group. This could backfire, right? But see, looking at that, I don't think it kind of sways my decision. I have got Poland second. Mexico are in turmoil, especially behind the scenes
I agree,
with a manager. They've got quality, and I actually think maybe throughout they've got a wee bit more quality than Poland. Poland have got Lewandowski, they've got Zelensky. Take away that, it's okay. It's okay, but I think Poland will finish second. Again, it will come down to the Poland and Mexico game. Mexico will finish third, and again Saudi Arabia. They could shock. A lot of people are going to overlook African teams, Asian teams, because they're not as good, but people forget the climate as well.
That's massive.
He's wetting himself laughing at you in the corner, so what are you thinking?
Right, going back with this Bielsa, great. Could you imagine just sitting right, you're about to go on a plane, got to, some of the players right in the Polish team, the biggest thing they've ever done in the World Cup, right? Say it's Scotland, right, and we're all sitting there, we're in the change room, right? We have to go out and beat Ukraine. And a Ukrainian manager comes in and goes, yeah, by the way, this is how yous are shite. Let me just show you.
20-minute presentation on John McGinn's arse.
You know what I mean? I've watched all these games. Yous are dross. Let me tell you why. And then, I mean, look,
Mate, how would that be received by Steve Clarke? Do you think how do you think Steve Clarke would respond to that?
He would keep the same face for the full 6-hour presentation.
He's sitting.
Stephen O'Donnell sitting in his lap.
He's sitting there thinking about his pie and beans when he gets home. He's thinking of nothing else. Nothing.
Does he have a role with that?
He's
Aye.
Oh, what
Right,
he's pie and beans?
Aye,
No, Stevie Clarke's therefore up. But that's what I think as well. I think he mashes up the pie.
Yeah, but you've got to, because that hard crust could. Smile and Talia could be the first flight booked. Smile and Talia could be the first flight booked.
He doesn't look like the fittest guy anymore. So I think.
Could you imagine Steve Clarke with veneers?
Oh mate,
That would be
imagine how
bright. That would be
Veneer
brighter than
Clarke.
That's brighter than Tory Glenn.
Imagine him.
Well,
with
I did actually hear he was taking the Galatasaray job. So
I think he's forgetting.
There's
He's forgetting the fact that he's going to miss his plane. He's still going to be standing in that technical box.
Oh,
Like he's not going to be leaving that
100%.
box anytime
Mate,
soon.
he'll be too busy.
With the same
sending
face.
me-
he's still trying to work out how to stop Ukraine.
Right. Anyway,
Okay, so
What's your Group
what?
C?
Aye, what are you saying for Group C?
Argentina, Poland, Mexico, Saudi Arabia. I don't think there's too much behind the scenes of Mexico. Then you can say, on the other hand, it's a chance for them to forget about what's going on.
Yeah,
Aye,
that's
it's the
fair.
same manager, but I mean, if that's you, you're wanting to go do your family proud, your country proud, you're wanting to go and make sure those 90 minutes is a one-off game. You're wanting to give everything you've got for that game. So I don't see it. I see them get beat that way, but I still have them third. Saudi Arabia last, Poland second.
Another thing
Argentina
about
first.
Mexico before you move on, they're the team who's lost the most amount of games in the World Cup.
Oh,
history.
really? Aye.
And that's a stat that's been going on for 92 years, right?
What does that mean? Just talking shit again?
There's nothing you can look into that, right? But maybe mentality can come into that. So
You never know how these things are going to take effect. These statistics, I know that people say, they're professionals and it's easy enough just to park it to the side, but you're a human being at the end of the day. Surely
It's the life in the line, and a fan base like Mexico is probably one of the most diehard in the competition.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but it hasn't made a difference to how I've selected my Group C. I've put Argentina to top it. I've got Poland sitting comfortably in second. I think Mexico will struggle even with Saudi Arabia.
Is this going to be one of these 9-6-3-0?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Mexico and Saudi Arabia draw.
No,
I really just think Mexico, like you say, they're coming into turmoil. They're in turmoil coming into this tournament, and I think see that mixed with leaking goals at the back, that's a recipe for disaster. See, as soon as you go one down, if you go one down early on, mate, how's your fans reacting to that? They're not. There's no your managers. Nah, it's for me. It's for me the proof's in the pudding. The fans want them gone. There's a reason for that. So Argentina, Poland, Mexico, Saudi Arabia. I think it picks itself. Argentina, the informed team in the tournament, 35 unbeaten. That's almost unheard of.
They're 36 now because they bet, was it UAE in a friendly a couple of days ago.
Did they?
Oh, okay.
Media 2 goals or something.
Yeah, 2 goals. Messi, unbelievable again.
Aye.
But there's
Go for a reason.
they're 2 games away from beating Italy's 38 game record, unbeaten.
That's crazy, isn't it? That honestly, see for a team that we've not really seen much in our lifetime, Argentina, I've not really seen them. Apart from obviously when they won the Copa America.
Copa Americas, yeah.
Apart from that, like Messi was just always lacking that team behind him, and now I can't see them not winning it. But I'm sure we'll go on to that. But now they've got their team behind them.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that a bit later. But let's move on to Group D. What are you saying for Group D?
I've got Denmark finishing first.
Right. Okay.
I do.
It's a big shout.
I think France will be the flops of the tournament, which might surprise people, might not surprise people.
Have you got them going out?
No.
Oh,
I don't have them going out.
Mate, I was thinking, my head just straight away went to who's pitting France to.
No.
I thought he was going to say what he's going to say in a minute.
No. I think Denmark will kick on for their Euros. They were quite unlucky against England, and I think England kind of showed their quality towards the end of the game, but I think Denmark will finish first, and I genuinely do think that will be comfortable. I think they'll beat all 3 teams.
Comfortable? You think it'll be comfortable?
Aye, I think it'll be comfortable. I think France will finish second again comfortably. I think they'll beat the likes of your Australias and your Tunisias. Their defence worries me massively.
So if you've got Denmark topping it, France sitting second, who's coming third?
I've got Australia finishing third.
Australia finishing
just because it's an SPFL XI.
That's exactly what it is.
Facts. Honestly, Jason Cummings will propel them to third.
Do you know what? I'd love to see him score. How do you think he reacts if he scores at a World Cup?
Takes his tap off 100%.
I seen a clip of it.
He gets everything in it.
I seen a clip of it.
It's all the choreograph.
He goes and gets his wrestling gear back on.
And in Qatar, he's getting the jail.
No, did you notice the clip? So they did, you know how like Celtic and that did the gift celebrations, like the Calmac and that. So he done one, and he done the Triple H one. So he's put the water in his mouth and he sprayed it. He's like, if there's a bottle at the side of the pitch, I'm going to do it.
But
like you're saying, he'd get arrested in Qatar. Who is the player most likely to get arrested in Qatar?
Oh mate, it's Jason Cummings all day. If it's no Jason Cummings, I don't know why we're on this. It's Jason Cummings. The boy is.
Has he been arrested? Is this
mate? Did you hear the story about the Josh Windass told? Right, so they're in Dubai and they're in a steakhouse. In a steakhouse
I
in
think
Dubai.
I have heard this.
Jason Cummings is sitting. He's like, he's just looking about, just mischievous as fuck. Right, he's wanted to do something. So he's stuck his fucking fork right into a steak. Right, ping it up. Fucking fucked it across the restaurant, mate. Big massive guy, he just smacked right in his shirt, mate. And Josh Windass like, I'm out of here, man. I am gone, mate. Honestly, unbelievable. The guy is just no filter. He's getting busted over there, 100%.
I'm trying to look for the team.
Or Eric Dyer.
Eric Dyer argues with his own fans, mate.
Aye, for Eric Dyer.
He just seems boring to me, mate. I couldn't sit and have a conversation with Eric Dyer.
No, definitely.
He does the same size as this table.
Aye, true, mate, true.
Aye.
I feel like you couldn't sit and have a proper conversation with Eric
What
Dyer.
have you got for D?
I've got France, Denmark, Australia, Tunisia. I actually think it'll be quite close between Denmark and France, but I don't see it. Maybe 729 points, but apart from that, no.
So
Here we go, man.
This is going to be
strap in, boys, if you're listening.
Hear me out.
Angie listening.
Hear me out. This is going to be a really close group.
Oh, hey.
I've
Just
got-
about here.
France, Denmark, Australia, Tunisia. Wait, Australia beating France.
That is a forfeit. If we're still doing forfeits, that's a
Listen,
forfeit.
and I'm not just saying that, you know, because of the Celtic background, I'm a Celtic fan. I just believe, for some good reason, that Australia is going to beat France.
in the
And
back of
I'll
your-
hold my hands up. I'll come on and say, do you know what?
You don't know
Fair
why,
play.
don't you know?
There's something
You don't know
special.
why?
There's
Can I,
something
can I just
special.
say about Australia? I love Cammy Devlin, man.
I was actually just going to say that's going to be one of the biggest mismatches in history. See Sergio Rabiot coming up against
Cammy
Cammy
Devlin.
Devlin.
He's getting his
What,
shin
what is
snapped.
your what is your
Cammy
obsession
Devlin
about
and
Rabiot?
I'm a massive Rabiot fan.
It's
He's
gonna-
one of the best players I've ever seen
It's
live.
going to be Cammy Devlin, right, and Aaron Moy versus Camavinga and Rabiot.
And
Oh
and
my
and,
goodness,
and,
that is
and,
Mate,
Austra-
can-
and Australia won that 2-0.
But
To
do
be
you
fair-
think Rabiot plays there too many
For me, maybe purely because
for
of-
you? But do you think that he does?
I don't think the manager will. I think Tchouameni's obviously flying for Real Madrid. He's off the back of a big money move. He's a top player. I don't think there's any disputing that. But for me personally, I think a bit of experience is necessary in those games. You're coming up against a Denmark. Denmark make any game difficult for anyone. So
I think
we'll
I've-
come back to my predictions. But what's your final four then?
France,
In order.
top. Denmark, Australia, Tunisia.
Oh, that's actually not bad then.
Sorry, I thought you had Australia go
beating
through.
France. No, but Australia
No,
beating
Australia's
France.
beating France, a million percent.
They'll beat France but not go through.
Yeah, a million percent.
So you're right. I agree with you with the Rabiot with the I don't know actually if I do know I'm thinking about it. But if you're talking about experience, I think taking Rabiot is brilliant because he has got hundreds of experience of sitting on the bench. So I think that'll be good with him watching two under 21-year-olds
But I tell
and
you something,
Tchouameni and Camavinga playing.
He stepped in for Pogba when he got injured for Juve this season, and he's not been that bad.
Aye, they did.
Mate,
not been
Rabiot,
that bad.
he's constantly
Aye,
slept on. I think
Aye,
it's,
yeah,
He
it
just went-
is the worst Juventus team in the last 20 years. But
I think
aye.
it's one of the players though where everybody's got different opinions.
yeah,
I don't
aye.
think he's amazing at anything. He's just okay at everything.
Yeah, I agree. He's probably like, imagine Ryan Jack but on the top stage. He's like Ryan Jack.
Ryan
on top
Jack's
stage.
in hospital, mate.
Aye, true.
24/7.
Oh yeah, aye, well that's
Sure.
fair enough. I thought you meant right now. I was like, what? But
No, the problem is.
He's in Turkey.
Problem
The
is-
Turkish hospital.
problem
Smile
is-
Antalya. Steve Clark, he's Illinois.
I think James Forrest gave them all a discount, to be fair.
Don't talk about
Oh,
James Forrest, mate. Just
oh,
go on to the next thing.
So Group D, I've got mine's is pretty nothing too exciting me. I mean, I've got France topping it. I think despite obviously Pogba's obviously a massive miss for them, Kanté obviously a massive miss. But you spoke about the quality that's coming in there, whether it be Adrian Rabiot, whether it be Tchouameni or Camavinga. Mate, yeah, there's so many midfield options to pick from. I think
Tchouameni's so good, mate.
Yeah, he's
it's
so good.
Unreal.
So for me, they top it. Denmark will run them close, but I think it will probably finish 2-1 France in that game. That's going to be the one that just puts France tap. Tunisia, I've got above Australia. I think Australia will shock people with how bad they're. I know a couple of people are getting a bit excited. I don't know if it's just the hype in this country because
Just in Scotland, yeah.
It could be that. I don't know. But for me, it's an SPFLXI, and half of the players are playing outside. Well, more than half the players. The only player that's actually playing it at a decent level, if you're being fair, is Aaron Moy. Aaron Moy's flying for Celtic.
What about Boyle?
Boy's
I
been
know-
doing
I know-
good.
I know
Boyle's
a Hibs
hasn't done
team.
much.
Boyle's
Boyle-
poor unless he plays against Rangers.
I can
That's
see
harsh,
Boyle
that's
having I can see him getting a couple of goals. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know.
I don't see Australia
think-
scoring a couple of goals, never mind Boyle scoring a couple of goals.
I think talking about
You
any
don't see
player,
Australia scoring a couple of goals.
More than 2 goals, no.
+2 by France, mate.
I don't know. I think talking about any players scoring a couple of goals in a World Cup has got to come with a pinch of salt, because you look at the last few World Cups where it's been won by 6 goals.
Yeah, 5, 6.
5, 6
Would
goals
probably
can win a
maybe
goal,
get you top goal scorer.
Yeah, it can get you a golden boot in these tournaments. So I don't know.
I still think he's got a couple of goals in him. This is the thing, mate. See when listen, the guy scored goals everywhere he's went.
Mhm.
That's just facts. He goes and he scores goals, and he's no got an exceptional ability to get in the box. He's just lightning quick, man.
But before you make your other point, am I right in saying Martin Boyle played in Qatar?
You're right.
Was it Qatar he played in?
I'm sure it was Qatar.
Definitely.
I think it was.
But was it Qatar? Because if he played in Qatar, I mean, it could maybe sway.
I didn't even think about that.
I don't know. That's
There you go. So
that
they're beating
can-
France 2-0. Eh?
that can play in. I suppose there's certain elements of that can play in. But what we'll do is we'll wrap up with my Group D, right, and then we'll move on to the next wee segment we've got. So I've went France, Denmark, Tunisia, Australia. So we've covered that. So we'll come back to big 3 points. So your last clue or your
So
last
are we
point.
getting more clues here?
Yeah, so you get your second point here. So you get 3 big points through the course of the show. You've had your first one.
good because I don't have a clue who these players are, mate. I know who Chorluka is.
That first point again was this player has played with Vedran Chorluka, Liam Logan, DeMarcus Beasley. So your second clue, this player has won 1 Scottish Cup and 1 SPFL title. Sorry, Scottish League Cup. This player has played with Vedran Chorluka, Liam Logan, DeMarcus Beasley, and this player has also won a Scottish League Cup and an SPFL League title.
Scottish League Cup.
SPFL title.
You're going to have to give me a bit of help on this, right?
Right.
Well, that's not allowed.
I can't
Well,
remember
we'll
the
see,
boy's
we'll see,
second
we'll
name.
see.
I can't remember the boy's second name. Jamie, Aberdeen keeper.
You talking
Joe.
He's
Well,
thinking about Jamie Langfield.
Jamie Langfield?
He's thinking about Jamie Langfield, aren't you? So he's thinking about.
Is it Jamie Langfield you're thinking of? Because he played for Scotland.
I've
and
done it
Scotland
again,
hasn't
haven't
been at a World Cup
I've
since
done it again,
1988.
mate. Aye.
So if Jamie Langfield's your guess, you are.
No,
out
no,
for
no,
this
it's
round.
not that, Jamie. It's not that.
No,
Jamie.
what? No.
So
Come
we'll-
on.
I think we need to take that as your answer. I think we need to take that as your
That's
answer.
fair.
Got to.
So I need to push you two for an answer so we can get on.
I keep forgetting we're a Scotland now, mate.
Hazard, I guess.
Gomez.
Just any Gomez, anyone in particular.
The baldy Brazilian one that was a keeper for Spurs and Watford.
Who did he play for in Scotland?
Mate, who said he played in Scotland?
Me.
When?
At the start. So this player has represented their country at
Right.
a World Cup, but also
Okay.
played for a team in Scotland.
Alright, well, mate, I'm not getting this. Just so you know, I already know that I'm
Brad
losing this.
Guzan.
Brad
Ooh.
Guzan.
That is a good
Did he play in
shout.
Scotland?
Don't know.
It's not him anyway. So we'll move on.
Is
With
he not make
He's
it easier,
American, wasn't he?
the last clue will give it away. So it's just going to be whoever's quickest, I think. But we'll come back to it.
Oh, Jesus.
So Group E, who have we got? Topping it?
Spain.
Spain to top the group.
Yeah,
Who's
but-
second?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Japan saying.
Third.
Wow.
Why Japan?
I just think. I don't know. I think their team's strong where it needs to be strong. We've had conversations about this where
Yeah.
to get through an international tournament, your team needs to be strong where in certain areas, and I think they've got that. I think players like Kamada,
Big
Yeah,
player for
he's
them.
quality.
Big
Different-
player.
different
he's
level.
an unbelievable player. He could play at a higher level than what he's playing anyway. put it that way.
What puts them above Germany for you then? What splits them apart?
I don't see where Germany gets goals for. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see a goal scorer there.
Is it Fjolberg?
No,
They won't get a game.
No,
Do you think?
he's had a cracking year. I don't know the stats specifically, but I just know he's had a good year. But it's an ancient Tam Miller. Let's be honest, and Kai Havertz doesn't really score as much goals as you would need. I don't
Thomas
see.
Muller scored like 5 in
Yeah,
the
I'm pretty sure
Nations-
his goals and assists were
Yeah,
massive.
He scores goals. I
his
know this.
numbers
I
are
know this. I
unbelievable.
just don't see him doing it in a World Cup, and then I don't see where the goals come from the midfield either.
Hey, what? Germany's midfield?
Aye.
Nah.
Gnabry, Sani,
Kimmich?
Musiala.
Musiala, huh?
Yeah, Musiala's top
Gnabry,
player.
who'll probably play up front for. I'll get into
Gnabry.
that, but
Mhm.
I don't honestly. I don't really
So-
see many goals here.
So you're going for Spain, Japan, Germany, Costa Rica. What about you? What you saying?
I think I'm going Germany, Spain, Japan, Costa Rica. I just feel Spain, although they've got a good brand of, players coming in and, young talent, you could say, but players like Thiago, even Ramos, De Gea, I just feel, I don't know, they've got leadership.
It's a change of times.
They've got leadership, but I just
Ramos
feel...
never made the squad.
no, that's what he,
No,
that's what I'm
Also,
saying,
he's lacking.
Yeah,
they're
that's what
lacking.
he's saying.
Okay,
So I feel like, I just feel Germany, you know what you're going to get with them. You know what I mean? It's standard, box standard, but be honest.
I had Spain tipping Germany, but I think the conversation we've just had is kind of switching my mind here. The fact that Germany will be playing, and what I would play, a front four of Gnabry, Sane, Musiala with Müller, with the manager, who I think is the best manager in the tournament, Hansi Flick. I'm going to change my mind, actually. and I'm going to pick Germany first. Germany first, aye. It will be close between Germany and Spain though. I think Spain's getting overlooked, but I think the next World Cup, Spain and Germany will be the two teams to watch it for. I think both of them are just quite young, especially Spain. It's a young squad.
Yep.
Luis Enrique's a top manager, probably the second best manager. They've got the two best managers in the group, I would say.
I think moving on, I've got Germany top in the group as well.
I've also got Japan and Costa Rica.
Oh, sorry.
Whereabouts do you have them, mate?
Japan third, Costa Rica fourth.
Aye, sorry. I've got Germany top in the group for the same reason. I think they've got proper talent throughout the team. I think they've arguably got the best midfield at the tournament.
Who's this?
Germany.
Oh, 100%.
Arguably, mate. I don't see anyone.
Am I missing something?
Kimmich,
I think you need to look up the
Kimmich,
team, mate.
Goretzka,
I think I'm missing something because I believe
Musiala
I
and the
believe
10 as well,
Pedri's
mate.
better than Musiala.
This season,
I don't
no.
think that's who
this
you
season,
compare.
no.
I
But
don't think that's who you
this
compare.
season, no. But overall, I would agree with you. But this season, I think Musiala's been the best under 21 in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
That boy is frightening. What England didn't do well was try to keep him on their books, and they'll let him go to Germany. He could have been representing England.
That's because he knows that they're not going to get through the group, mate. You go to Crystal Ball and he's like, that England team is not getting through the group for the 2022
So
World Cup.
just to round off my group E, I've got Germany topping it. I've got Spain sitting second. I've got Japan, who are just missing out, man. I think Japan have got some team, but they're just missing out narrowly. I've got Costa Rica at the bottom. I feel sorry for Costa Rica. They've got some good players spring through the team.
That 2014 World Cup run,
Unbelievable.
because that was the group of
I
death.
completely forgot.
Uruguay,
about that,
Italy, England, and Costa Rica.
Yep.
Who was it? Who was the big guy with the afro? Was that Costa Rica? What's
Was it
his
Joe
name?
Campbell?
Oh,
Joe Campbell used to
the
play for
centre
Arsenal.
half. The centre
Nah,
half.
the centre half. I'm talking about the
no,
centre
I'm
half.
talking about the right
guy
mid.
that takes all the penalties. Now I can't remember his name.
I thought it was a centre half as well. He
Oh,
took
is
the
it centre
penalties. I thought it was. I don't know. Maybe we're getting mixed up.
Probably it's me that said it.
So that wraps up Group E.
What's happening? He's enjoying it? Stay tuned for the second part.
Back underway with the second half of the show this time. Moving on to Group F. What are we thinking, Ben?
I think it'll be the most boring group.
The most boring group, Group F.
Group F, most boring group.
Right.
I think Croatia will go through, Morocco in second, Belgium in third, and Canada last.
How are you calling that a boring group?
Bro, that's not boring.
I think it's going to be the most boring football you'll ever see in your
just
life.
called it a
Mate,
mid. What Belgium?
mad.
You don't think the best midfielder in the world, Kevin De Bruyne,
yeah, that's facts.
will go through?
I'm
that's
sitting here,
facts.
mate. I'm not the World Cup.
Oh,
No, but that's a big shout, and to call it boring as well is an even madder shout. So what's your basis for Belgium finishing third?
I just think that if they were to win something, they would have won it by now. I think the golden age of their generation's coming to the end. I don't think we'll see De Bruyne in another tournament.
No.
Could you not argue the same for Croatia though?
I mean, I just think, look at the game against Scotland. You know what they do. You know what they do in the tin. You know what I mean? They're all a group of lads who know how they play and play well, and they've got probably the best midfielder apart from.
Who would you rather then? Would you rather Luka Modric or Kevin De Bruyne?
You're asking me, I think they're two different players.
No,
Yeah,
but
it's tough 'cause they
I
play
know,
different
but if you had to
positions.
take one for your team, if you had to take a captain, because they're both captains.
I'm taking Modric then, because I know that you can find no to the extent of De Bruyne.
He's 38 in less than a year.
But he's asking me who'd I take my team.
I
like
agree
right
with
now.
him.
Yeah, he's
I agree that
almost 38.
I agree Modric is a better player. Honestly, I think
I got
Club-
two different players to say that.
club level, I would rather take. If you're building a team, I'd rather take Luka Modric in club level. But
I think it'll be the most boring games of football you'll see in your life.
Cool. So you've got Canada dead bottom.
Yep.
You've got Belgium in third.
Yep.
Did you say Morocco in second?
Morocco
Croatia at
second,
top?
Croatia top.
why Morocco?
I don't know. I just feel something tells me that Ziyech is going to have a good.
By the way,
Two
I'm with you on that. I'm
Yeah,
with you on that.
I think
So,
Hakimi's going to carry them in defence.
just on that, while we're on that, I'll just drop mine in quick.
Yeah.
Right, I've got Belgium to top it because I think Lukaku on his day is still. I know he's had a couple of bad spells in England now, and I know he's
it's just
done-
depending whether he's fit or not. But I definitely agree. with you.
But if he's ready to go, man, he could easily finish top of the.
Especially in group stage
the goal
games,
charts.
these are the past
Yeah,
couple of
he's-
tournaments. He's been
Unbelievable.
He's got the talent to do that.
100%.
ridiculous, man.
Morocco for me, I've probably got the most dangerous right hand side at the tournament. Maybe with the exception of Argentina if Messi plays wide. But for me, you've got Ashraf Hakimi in behind Ziyech.
I think
I think the Dutch's right side is better.
I think Hakimi will start off the
disagree.
left just because of Mazraoui, but Mazraoui's not a bad substitute to have in.
Yeah.
I know. Well, for me, I think he will go. I think he will go.
Hakimi on the right.
Hakimi and
Ziyech.
Ziyech. I think that'll be the link up. You see.
Do you think there's a chance of him playing Hakimi further forward?
I don't think so, because for me, that's the mistake that Scotland made, where they changed players' positions to try and fit a system. You play players to their strengths. Kieran Tierney's strength is getting outside people, get balls in the box. So playing him at centre half, in my opinion, is wasted. But it's the same thing. It's the same argument I would make for Hakimi. Don't change a player's game. I think that's one of the worst things you can do, is ask someone to do something they're not familiar doing. I think that's one of the worst things you can do as a coach.
There's a lot of, especially nationals, a lot of teams that do that. You think about Zinchenko, who's really only ever played as a left back when he played for Man City and Arsenal.
He came through as a centre mid though.
Zinchenko as a centre mid, out of position,
and
left
then
back.
David Alaba's the same when he plays for Austria.
He's a utility player though. He
Yeah.
could play anywhere. I reckon you could probably
But
play him
what-
up front. He would
It's the
do
same
it.
as saying Alphonso Davies playing up front or playing on the left wing for Canada.
It's
This is
quality
my
speaks
point.
volumes.
This is my point. I agree with you, but nationally that doesn't really happen a lot, where players are just played in their strength because it's their strength. Because you get, it's just look at Scotland, three left backs that are very decent and could play.
Do you not think that's a problem though? Because for me,
It's
I
a
don't see
it's
the
a
point
different kind
changing
of
it.
problem. It's definitely a different kind of problem because, even though Tierney's, I would say Tierney's better going forward than Robertson is.
Well, let's try and stay on topic for Morocco specifically. Why would you play Hakimi anywhere else?
Because he's their best player.
I disagree. I think Ziyech is better.
You
but
think Ziyech's a better player than Hakimi?
I do. Hakimi isn't going to influence a game the way that Ziyech will, or Mazraoui for that fact.
I think
So for me,
Hakimi scored more goals in the last few years than Ziyech.
the right back. I don't think that's fact.
That's fact.
I'm definitely
Who have you got finishing third?
third. That I've got Croatia. They're at the end of their golden generation, similar to Belgium, but they don't score enough goals for me. They don't score enough goals. The only reason that at this World Cup is because they're playing against Russia. Perisic gets on the outside, and listen, Perisic is a cracking player. In my opinion, he's one of the better players in that group.
He's best
But
winger in the world.
He swung the ball to the left hand side, and the Russia players smacked it into his own goal.
Yeah.
He's like mishit it, put it into the back of the net. For me, they're no worthy of being in the World Cup. I think Russia were better than them in both games they played, but
Who's
that's
this?
what it
You
is.
don't
That's
think
how the cookie
Croatia's
crumbles.
worthy of being?
nah, I don't think so. Some of the players they've got, yes, but the way the team's performed over the last wee while, they got through the qualifying campaign because Modric scored free kicks and penalties. That doesn't
They
work
should
for
have took Antonio Cholak.
Yeah, tough one. I don't know if I'd agree with that. But so I've got Canada finish bottom of the group. I think we've all went with that. I'd be surprised if anyone hasn't. But for me, Belgium, Morocco, Croatia, Canada.
I've got exactly the same as you.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it is the end of Croatia's golden generation, and it also is the end of Belgium's golden generation. Morocco, just, I don't know, there's something.
I'm the same. There's a wee
The
feeling.
back five of what I think they'll play is Bono, as I said, Hakimi on the left, Mazraoui on the right. You've got Roman Saiz and Yusuf Agard for West Ham.
Yeah, aye.
They've got Yusuf Enzeri from Sevilla, who has not been great this season, let's be fair. But is still a decent enough striker with Hakan Ziyech being their main man. I agree with you. He is their main man. He was
100%.
frozen out the squad for 2 years because of disrepute with the managers. New managers came in, he took him straight back in. Did you see his goal a couple of days ago?
Mate,
In a friendly?
he's here with a point to prove this
Wow.
year. He's going to
Halfway
say
line.
this is what you get.
Halfway line, right? He's chipped the goalkeeper and it's literally hit the top corner of the net. It's no hit the bottom, straight top.
Just pinged it.
He is a player, and I think he will be the difference.
So
Definitely.
if you's up at Morocco going through,
Aye.
Yeah.
On you go.
No, who's yours?
I'm sitting in a room with absolute fucking donuts because Belgium are Belgium, right? And they have arguably some of the best players there. And Croatia done so well at the last tournament. And like,
What, in Russia?
aye.
Are you talking the Euros?
Oh, the Euro, sorry, aye. It made the. I mean, I don't understand what you're basing it on. I still think Croatia's got one of the best midfields and
No, it
tournament.
does. Having Brozovic, Modric, and a midfield is up there, but I just don't see it.
I think it's for
Do you play
me,
Kovacic?
Of course, you play Kovacic.
Sorry, there you go. There's another
Of
one.
course,
For
play
me, it's very
Kovacic.
close
Aye.
to it's very close to Højbjerg and Christian Eriksen. It's guys that okay, they're good football players, but Are they going to be a match for boys that are running?
I actually
in through
think,
them? I don't
speaking
think
of
so.
that midfield, I
It's
think it's
too
the
much
most
dynamism.
underrated midfield 3 in the tournament.
I don't think it's under. I think it's
I think
overrated.
having Thomas Delaney,
Overrated.
I think it's overrated.
having
For
Thomas.
what reason is it overrated?
I don't see the hype about.
Christian Eriksen's doing wonders for Manchester
Christian
United.
Eriksen.
Højbjerg's having his best season.
Yeah.
Christian
of his
Eriksen,
career.
and it's still no good for me. But I think
That's wild. That's a wild.
He's-
take.
he's Tottenham's best
it's no
midfielder.
wild. It's no
I would
wild.
actually go with that. I like Bentancur as well, but I think he
But
is.
Bentancur's definitely Spurs' best midfielder. But I don't see the hype around Højbjerg. I think he's slow. He scores goals, and I get that. I mean, he comes up with goals sometimes, but
I think it's the opposite. I think he does the dirty side of the game well.
I'm
he
the
does
same.
the
I would
dirty
agree
side
with
very
that
well.
100%.
But
I'm interested to hear what you've got.
it's Belgium, Croatia, Canada, and then Morocco.
Did Morocco bottom?
Aye.
Canada.
I don't see
Say that
this.
again, sorry.
Belgium,
Right,
Croatia,
right,
Canada,
right.
Oh.
Morocco.
Where's the goals coming from then? Croatia. Who's if they're gonna finish above Morocco and Canada, they're gonna need to score a lot of goals because I think they're gonna face problems at the back. So who's scoring the
And
goals?
their main attacker, before you go into that, who I thought would have played, Ante Rebic, even took.
Mate, that
Yeah,
is
but
that
aye,
is wild again.
that
Didn't
That
even
is
took.
wild.
He would have been a starter.
It's a weird one,
Would
but
have been a starter.
I think
I don't know if
I
I'd
think they've got enough talent. You're talking about they got through just by Modric. If they got through just by Modric, they also just got to the Euros with just Modric and Perisic. So it's
Bullshit.
it's I
How did they do in the Euros? How far did they get? Was it the semi-finals? Quarterfinals?
semis.
Was it definitely semis?
I remember watching like a
Semis
late
with
night
England.
game.
Was it?
No,
was,
wasn't it?
I went
was
extra,
it
did
the
it
quarters
not?
because
Was it
England
no
beat
Denmark?
Denmark.
Denmark?
England
Oh,
beat
where's
Denmark in the
Denmark?
semis.
Was it no extra time?
Did they not play against Spain? And Spain
Aye,
put
Spain.
them
beat
out?
them. Aye.
Was it only round of 16 maybe? I might be wrong.
So
on
do
that.
I check
We
that?
can fact
I
check.
bet for
Aye,
it's
check
God's
it.
sake, man. They've got a Ballon d'Or winner on their team, and we're questioning if they're going to get through. I don't know how you can question this.
No, Kevin De Bruyne is the
The-
best
the-
midfielder in the Premier League, which is supposed to be the best. The best
Aye, and
league in the
they're
world,
definitely
so-
gone through. I agree, they're definitely gone through. But the only person to win a Ballon d'Or, Lionel Messi and Ronaldo before Modric. Like I don't understand me. He's like getting it. He's absolutely lost me. He broke up the Ronaldo Messi thing. It was that good for a false 2-3 seasons to be honest. But that season, it was that good that he
The-
broke up Ronaldo Messi win the Ballon d'Or.
2018, 4 years ago, the time that
Man's still winning Champions Leagues.
is he doing it himself?
Is it,
He's playing with the boy that's just won the Ballon d'Or. So I think what you're saying is I think
that proves my point, mate. That proves my point. If he's that good to stand behind somebody and then the person in his team goes and wins the Ballon d'Or, then surely he's doing something right. If he's won the Ballon d'Or and somebody in his team's won the
Nah,
Ballon d'Or and he's got
disputing-
Croatia at a
I'm not
semi-finals.
disputing the boy's quality whatsoever. That's the last thing I'm doing. I think he's one of the best centre midfielders in the world still. But for me, he doesn't offer the same going forward as what he does, and he's not going to do it in that Belgium team. You see the way that he played against Scotland.
Croatian
He was sorry, but not against the Belgium team.
Not
He's not
against the
going to
Belgium team.
play that way where he's up trying to make things happen. I don't see that being the case because see when De Bruyne is up there and he's causing problems, you've got Lukaku up there. The Belgium team is so open and expansive that Croatia are going to have to sit in a lot of time. That's not looking Modric's strong point.
I majorly disagree with your fact. You don't think you said that you don't think he'll get up there to score goals. Is that your
I
point
don't think
you're
he'll be
making?
allowed to get up there
Not
to score
against
goals.
Belgium, no. Not
Aye,
against
but-
Belgium,
but-
no.
I'm just saying this because I've watched it. When Celtic was holding Real Madrid off at Celtic Park, they passed Vinicius wide left, and they put Modric wide right. Modric scored.
Who was he playing against?
Celtic.
Who was he playing against?
Who was
Matt O'Reilly? No Kevin De Bruyne?
you're
Well,
saying that
no,
you're
that
saying,
makes- that
you're saying
makes
you
my
want to
point
rely on
further.
them. You've just said he's got through. You just said he's the reason they got through.
Yeah, but they can afford to go and attack Celtic because Celtic don't have the same.
So
the
you
same
don't think they'll be able
punishing
to attack Canada or Morocco?
power. No, Morocco will be.
Because they don't need to beat Belgium to finish second.
No, I'll give you that point. I'll concede that point. But for me, Morocco offer too much.
When?
When what?
When have they done this?
But-
when
but-
have they
but
offered too much?
They don't need
Look
to
at the
do
squad
it.
they've got. Look
but
at how they
some-
qualified for the World Cup.
It's got to
Look how-
start some time, and I think it's going to start now.
Who have you got?
Yeah, so like I say, mate, I've got Belgium, Morocco, Croatia, Canada. So I think that's everyone pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting to come back to.
This will be the
because
most
this is-
interesting group to come back to.
I'm circling this, mate.
Group
I'm also
range.
circling England. But
What was your the England? So if England get through the group, you've got to do a punishment.
Aye.
Oh,
And-
so how do you want to do that? Will we decide that, or will we leave it up to people on Twitter?
I think if we get a good response,
People
you
on
know,
Twitter. And
we'll
then
see
if
how we
Qatar don't score if Qatar score 1 goal, I'll need to do one.
And what's yours if...
I'm not doing that.
Come
Australia's going in.
No.
I think it would be fun if every
It
single
took
person...
about 6 weeks for me to do it, but
But anyway, what's the next group?
So Group G, we've got Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. So how are you seeing that one pan out?
But I think this is an easy one.
I think exactly how you said that.
Exactly how I said it?
Exactly how you said that. I think
Is it-
Neymar will be dazzling.
played it
Yeah.
to me.
Well,
I think
for me.
we'll come back to that specifically, but I think that's a massive
For me, I
massive
think
possibility.
Serbia are dark horses in this, especially with that
I
front
agree.
line of Mitrovic and Vlahovic. That's, if you're a defender coming up against that, that's
mate.
no looking good for you. I'm
No,
sorry,
it's
that's the hardest.
I agree with you. I think that's a great front. I don't think they've connected enough yet. That's the only thing I say. I don't think they've had enough time to play with each other, and
They've
Vlahovic hasn't had the best season this season, and that's maybe worth pointing out, and particularly when he's coming up against the Brazil centre halves that are obviously quality. That for me could be the group of death. I think people are writing off Cameroon. I've actually got Cameroon dead on the bottom.
Yeah,
I've got Cameroon second.
Cameroon second. I've got them dead bottom. I've got Switzerland finishing just above them in third.
This is
I've got Serbia second, and I've got Brazil top.
yeah. Before
Like mine.
100%.
before I move on to one of your groups, I think this is the same as the England group where between Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon,
Yeah, it
that
could
could
be
go any order,
it
and
could
it
be
wouldn't
anything.
surprise me. I just think Serbia have get that star quality. Switzerland are always good in tournaments. You look at the last Euros and they put out France.
Yeah, it's
Put out
I
France.
get that. I do
They
get
were
that.
good against France. Granit Xhaka's having the season of his life,
I do agree.
but I
that
think they will
another-
finish third.
They're another team that.
There's
slept
another one.
on.
I think
get
Granit
that.
Xhaka's better than Højbjerg, but I continue.
Maybe this. I don't know. That's very close. But
It's
for
above
me,
them.
like they are one of the teams that I slept on.
Yeah.
They've obviously got like some of the best players in that group. But for me, Serbia have got that proper identity now. It's like what Scotland are looking to have, but it's just an abundance of additional quality. I think, and like you say, Mitrovic is unbelievable. Mitrovic is on fire as well.
I think I was free, excluding your wild statement there. I think
Us
we've got
three
the
on par then,
we've
us
got
three.
the group Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon.
Yeah. So yeah, so
What are you saying on this, Die?
So I'm saying.
aye, we're all
So,
we're
let's hear
all,
the-
we're all
let's hear
singing from
the-
the same hymn sheet. Where are you?
Yeah, again, I'm not doing it. I'm starting to think that I don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about, but
Or maybe you have got the clue and we don't have a clue.
Exactly.
you
see.
We will see on the 18th of December.
nah, I think I don't have a clue. But I've went with Brazil, Cameroon, Switzerland, Serbia. I just don't think the Serbia team, they've got a lot of new additions, and I just don't think they've had enough time to gel. Because I've got me doubt myself now.
I don't think there should be any doubt. I just want to know what you're smoking.
I don't know, mate, but I'm just constantly completely different to you.
That doubt comes from the power of wireless, guys.
Oh, you're
100%,
right.
100%.
Stand by it. Go with it.
So
Exactly.
what we'll do, we'll move
Yeah,
on.
well,
to
Cameron will beat Brazil.
Cameroon will beat Brazil.
That's worse than me saying Australia will beat
That's
France.
not. That's no. Australia's a lot worse.
Are you joking?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Cameron team's
I
good.
agree with that. I agree with that.
But let's move on to Group
Did
H.
you see what Samuel Eto'o said?
Oh,
He
don't get
had-
into it
he
because
had
that's.
Cameroon somewhere. Like, was it semi-final they got to?
No, they went
they
in
not
the
win it?
final.
Was it
Oh
the
no, they won
They
it.
won it because
They won it
he's
in
for
a-
Cameron.
Oh, okay. So
He had-
Did they not have Morocco? Was it?
Oh,
Morocco. It was a Morocco Cameroon final.
Aye.
Oh,
I'm positive it was something like that.
He
It
was
What?
he was
Aye.
smoking something.
Go
He was
watch
smoking something stronger than him.
he's laced it with crack, man.
Yous have been getting back and forward, you and Samuel.
I mean, I would love
100%.
to go back and forth with Samuel Eto'o. Have you seen the shine in his baldy head?
Anyway, Group H.
Group H.
Shout out Andy Honest.
That's got my goals in Samuel Eto'o.
So Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o. What am I saying? Right. So Group H. What are we saying for Group H, Connor?
I'm saying Samuel Eto'o. No, I'm now that I look at this, I'm doubting my bottom two, but Portugal and Uruguay. I think
See,
that,
can I just ask, right? So that's a couple of times you said. See, if you were to go back and do this full thing again, would you end up with different ones? Are you just shutting your eyes and just picking, saying, "I fuck it, that'll do"?
You're like a wee kid trying to pick for the Grand National.
Nah, boys,
I like his
100%.
colour.
I'm the most
Come on, son. Let's get your £2 in.
I'm the most dyslexic guy in the world. See if you don't tell me that says Denmark before I'm looking at it. I don't know what that says, mate. So
He's reading the rank way in the full time. He's Samuel Eto'o. He's got Cameroon winning.
no.
To be fair, I've never seen them together.
There you go.
True.
Ever seen them at the same time?
Bold statement, mate.
Bold statement.
Conor McInnes is Samuel Eto'o. Clip it.
But I was playing for Real Madrid and he was playing for Milan. But
So, pretty similar then. Do we all have Portugal, Uruguay in that order?
No.
No?
I've got Uruguay. Uruguay are going to be the dark horse of this tournament.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I
I'm
agree.
also going to make a prediction, a small one, of
Sorry.
Darwin Núñez will be the top goal scorer in the group
We'll
stages.
come back. We'll come
Not
back.
in the group stages, not
In-
not
okay,
not in all
okay.
competitions. In the group stages, this man is very
He's got
overlooked.
something to prove.
He has got something to prove. He's so raw,
Aye.
and he's so that when you look at him, he should not be a football player. But I don't know what it is.
You
But-
can grab him for the
Aye,
picture shot, man.
yeah, I've got it the other way, but I'll get into the rest of it when Connor
So,
finishes.
finish your group, mate.
Well, this the same point that you're saying. I think if Ronaldo's going to reignite his career, then he has to go and have a good World Cup.
Honest question: do you start him?
No.
You've
Yeah,
got to.
No.
Yeah. Who starts ahead of him?
Come
This name
on.
matter, man, but it's...
No, you
I
you
I agree.
have
Based
to
on what though, are you
start.
gonna?
I do start him, but if there was someone at maybe the level of a João Felix or Rafael Leao who was a striker, an out and out striker,
Nah, for
I
me
think-
still not.
I think he played João Felix Adam.
no,
yeah, well,
not
can
as
I
a
ask then?
striker.
Can I ask what's your basis for dropping him then? Is it because of the things that went on at Manchester United?
No,
or is
I
it
just
for-
think it's.
I think
just
think
it's a
club
season's not been great.
club and country you need to separate. No matter, and
Yeah, facts.
Bruno Fernandes said that as well. You know, that's totally different. They're there to do their job. I
He
get
has
that.
to say that.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. At the end of the day, it's night, but we'll kind of move on to that. So, for my reason personally, I just think Ronaldo's coming to the end of his time. I know we're not wanting to hear that because we've
Yes.
grown up with
I want
Messi,
to hear it.
Ronaldo, your Modric, you know.
That's that's what we spoke about. Though, see all these legends of the game that we've grown up idolising. This is the last time that we'll see them at a World Cup.
We're in a new era.
He wins.
Yeah, aye,
Portugal
yeah,
wins it, he's
100%.
retiring. He said that, but I think he'll retire either way.
I think he will. He's not going to go into another World Cup at 42.
He's
No,
not
I-
going. Do you think he comes back and plays for Man U?
I doubt very much after this with Man U, he doesn't go to a club.
I'm surprised he's not getting sued.
Oh, that's
What's your official predictions then?
shocking.
I'm going Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea, and Ghana on the bottom.
What are you saying?
Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea, Ghana. I think this will be the most entertainment group.
I've got
Also
Uruguay,
maybe.
Portugal, Ghana, South Korea.
You can't right. I don't know.
No, Sun is
Aye.
world class.
Mm-hmm.
Ghana have got a couple of good players. Tariq
Yeah.
Lamptey's gone. Inaki Williams
Mm-hmm.
is now going. I think I just don't know what it is. I don't know. I've not really got an explanation why. I think if Sun's not firing, South Korea won't do good. But if Sun is firing, they could easily go up to third.
But do you know think they've got some other great players, South Korea? Like the boy at Napoli, centre half. What's his
Kim
name?
Min Jae,
Kim
yeah, facts.
unbelievable,
He's a-
unbelievable.
Aye.
He's
Again,
I'll give
I
you that.
can hold my hands up and say I don't
I'll
watch
give
it
you that.
enough.
He was the best replacement they could have got for Koulibaly.
Yeah, 100%.
Watching him against
disagree
Rangers,
with
I
that
know
at
it's against Rangers, but even watching him against Liverpool and Ajax, when
Aye.
they steamrolled that group,
Mm-hmm.
he was exceptional. So I'll
Aye,
give
it's
you
good.
that. I'll
What
give you
about
that.
all. For me, I've got Uruguay top of the group. I think they're coming in with one of the best midfields, man.
Valverde is the best
centre
midfield right now.
On form,
Right
form,
now,
he's the best of all.
100%.
I still think De Bruyne is probably the best overall, if I'm being honest. It's close between those two. Modric, off the top of my head, I don't want to throw too many in. It's probably too early for too many.
That's
to
too
start
early for
considering
too
that.
many.
But I've got Uruguay top in the group for that reason. Their midfield is stacked. They've got quality options up front as well. Guys that have been there and done it for a long time, and Luis Suarez. You've got Portugal in second. I actually went back and forth on this for a while, man. This is the one I found the most difficult to
Yeah.
actually
Really?
pinpoint. Because the players we're talking about, Kim and Jay, unbelievable
Yeah.
at the back. You've got players more advanced positions, obviously Son and things like that. But for me, Portugal just edge it. See, if you're looking at quality, you've got João Cancelo coming off the left. You've got
Is Cancelo the best fullback in the world? Though?
This season, I wouldn't say. He's not been great.
he's been rinsed a few times in the
He's not been
Champions
great,
League.
but I would say overall,
Mhm.
he's the best right back and left back in the world.
Yeah, that's
That's
a massive thing. Being able
crazy.
to play both is
And he can play it
class.
at the highest of levels.
Do you
But-
think?
Well,
for
I
me,
always thought he was a right back.
But the key for this team, for me, is going to be Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He can dictate a game. He can play off the right. He can play in the middle. He can play in the 10.
Yeah.
I think you could even get away with playing him in the 6. He can take the ball off the defence and he
Yeah.
can start attacks. He is one of the players that can just make teams tick. He does it for City all the time. For me,
I think-
he's the difference between South Korea and Portugal, and I've got Ghana off the bottom.
I-
Like you say, Ghana, it's harsh on Ghana. I get it. It's
As-
harsh on Ghana, but there's just too much quality ahead of them. in my opinion.
I think you've got to watch out for Rafael Leao. That boy's.
Aye, different.
Ah,
I think
He's been class this year.
for me personally, if I'm looking at that Portuguese team, he's my standout for that. He's maybe a hipster's choice of you might not know him, you might see him a couple of Champions League games and that, but honestly, if he plays off the left, which I think he should, starting, he'll do wonders, because he's got very, very similarities to a young Ronaldo, where it's very raw, always getting in behind, but the finishing he's got for a 23, 24-year-old's
I've got a couple of questions.
Right.
If you wanted to play Ronaldo, if Ronaldo wasn't going to play, would you start with Felix or would you start with Leo?
I would start with Gonçalo Ramos, who's an out-and-out striker, but I don't know if he's... I don't know if he's going. If he is going...
I'm positive he's been included, but I think he'll start.
If it is going, if I'm looking just for a replacement, I'm going with him. If I'm not looking for a replacement, I'm probably going with João Felix with Bernardo Silva off the right, Leao off the left, and then maybe playing a midfield three of whoever. But
right, would you not take one last point? Would you not take Sanchez? But do you think
this
that's a big
is the
miss?
point I'm getting on to. This is the point I'm getting on to, right?
Who would they play over though?
Right. No, who's your anchor?
João
Well, you
Palhinha.
could have Bernardo Silva in there.
Palhinha's not at the level now with Sanchez.
Oh,
I
João
disagree.
Palhinha has been very good
I
for
disagree.
Fulham this season. A top half Fulham side who were tipped for relegation. He's been exceptional. He's been brilliant in Sporting Lisbon as well.
Let's be honest, right?
Renato Sanchez is not getting played for.
He's been decent.
But he's getting more minutes over Renato Sanchez doesn't get played. I agree. Renato Sanchez is a better player.
Renato Sanchez is. I don't see if you're that good going forward, right? Which Portugal I think are. I think they've got so much talent, especially even their central midfielders are pretty much wingers. Like your Fernandes or Bernardo Silva, they're pretty much wingers. That's how much they attack. I don't see Paulinho being at that level that he can anchor that midfield.
Yeah, I do. They've also got. I don't rate him, right? He's a Portuguese. William Carvalho plays for Portugal all the time.
Yeah.
And he somehow just is good. I don't rate him personally, but I wouldn't be surprised if he started.
I think he
João
will
Palhinha.
start.
Let's I reckon we've probably covered enough of Portugal in that group. We've all had our predictions on it, so we'll come back to it obviously after the first round of fixtures and we'll see how it's sitting.
Yep.
But we're going to play a game called No Chance. So No Chance is basically what the way I'll explain it first is you can only be played by two people. So what we'll get you to do first is if you do a quick rock paper scissors and whoever's the odd one out is it won't play.
Just between the three.
Just between the three.
On
yeah.
shoot.
1, 2, 3,
2,
shoot.
1, go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Right, so you're the odd one out, so they two play.
Okay.
Oh, Benny boy!
Benny
go.
Boy playing against Conor McInnes. So the loser of this is
Conor
winning 20
McInnes.
quid in the Christmas night out kitty. So this is for us.
I am the winner in this. Yeah.
Do you want to come back in?
Thanks.
I mean, no.
How is this happened?
So you've been narrowed down to two people. The way No Chance works is I'll ask you a topical question, like how many players from the England World Cup squad can you name in 30 seconds? You'll go back and forward until one of you says the other person has no chance. So, if the person gets as many as they said they could in the 30 seconds, they win. If they don't, the person who called no chance wins. So,
Right.
your question, how many players can you name from the Croatia World Cup squad? Connor, you start.
20.
You can name 20 of the 26.
No chance.
You can name
Don't let him
20.
don't let him take me think. Come on.
Right, cool. So we'll start the timer in 3, 2.
Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic, Grubic, Livac.
Livac, I can't give you Livac.
Is it Levi?
Oh, right, okay, I'll give you it.
Levi? Katic, Juranovic.
Katic gone?
I can't give you Katic.
Vasalko.
That's the easiest
South
20
is
quid
not
I've
there.
saved in my life.
Nah.
Big,
See after I said 20, I was like, I can't do 20.
big bad bomber.
go so high so early?
Honestly, I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know.
if you said 6, he was calling.
I'm not gonna lie, I could have named you 2 players.
I think the
Many did I
producers
get?
were delighted to see that as well straight away. That off the bat we're getting
20 quid, boys. 20 quid.
20 quid straight away.
Yes.
How many did I get?
7.
7's alright, by the way.
Mate, see if you said 7 at the start, I'd have been like, right, okay, that's fair. So when I done it, I got 10. But I would always just split down the middle. I think 10's a safe number. 10's
Mate,
safe.
I could have.
Maybe no start with 10.
Probably got.
I would start with 10. I think
I
that's
could
a
have
safe
probably
one.
got 10, but I couldn't get Katic at my head after I said that.
Maybe because you fought Barisic.
I'll
Yeah.
go. What I'll do is I'll run through the teams.
That is that!
I knew it.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, let's move on.
I'll run
Go
through
on.
the team quickly and just let you know who else you could have got. So you've got Dominic Lavajo, Grbic, Lucevic, or Ivicic, sorry. Stanisic, Lovren, Vida, Barisic, Sosa.
Lovren's gone.
Lovren's gone, mate. Juranovic, Erlich. I apologise for the
Pronunciation. Sorry, any Croatians listening.
Guardiola.
Guardiola's gone?
No, Guardiola.
Mate, this is brutal. This is
Sure,
brutal.
mate.
This is.
Do you mean Vardio?
Gvardiol, mate.
Gvardiol.
Sutalo,
Good player.
Perisic, Modric, Pasalic, Meir, Brozovic, Sucic, Jakic, Vlasic, Kovacic, Kramaric, Petkovic, Orsic, Lavaja, and.
Oh, should I got
Budimir.
Orsic?
Loads of itches.
Aye, itchies.
I'm very itchy.
Itchy
Right,
team.
what's
Itching to get out
Mate,
this
have you
next
seen
one.
Davy Martindale do that? See when so Davy Martindale goes in. Oh, so how's the game, David? Mate, before he speaks, it's honestly brutal, mate. See, you've seen it, you won't unsee
Who
it.
would you rather, but listening to him or Gio talk?
Don't.
Anyway, right. So we'll get back into the actual nitty-gritty stuff.
Loose fingers.
So
and listen
who's
to
your predictions for the
Wimbledon.
Golden Glove?
I put Alisson.
I've went with Alisson as well.
Have you got Connor?
I think Brazil have the strongest.
I
defence at World
actually, I
Cup.
can't actually remember anybody that I was thinking.
If you don't remember, you will see the stats at the end. So
Aye. Who did I put? Somebody got my.
I'm pretty sure you went with.
I went with
You went with
Mendy.
Edouard Mendy. You
I went
did. You
with
went
Mendy. I did go with
Shout.
Mendy.
I've went with Unai Simon from Spain.
Right.
oh,
Spain will keep the best defence in this World Cup, I think.
I disagree.
who do you think you go with? But
completely disagree.
I think Brazil are too good. I think
think-
Brazil are too good.
Honestly, I think this is where Unai Simon will catapult his name to world class levels.
Mhm.
He's the number one for a reason. Now, De Gea's no been brilliant. He's had a good season. I think. I think he's had maybe an
He's been,
underrated
he's been
season.
better than
He's been
previous
better,
seasons.
he's been better.
I
Obviously, you've got the likes of Robert Sanchez for Brighton, David Villa for Brentford, etc. No one's getting Unai Simon.
I think he will start.
He'll
But
definitely
I don't think they'll keep a good enough defensive record to justify.
Who have they
getting
got? Garcia.
Garcia at the back. Aye, but I don't know.
No,
if really
they'll play Laporte and Pau Torres,
Aye, I think
which
that'll
I think is very.
be, I think it's strong, but I don't know if it's strong enough.
Pau Torres, Villarreal.
Aye, Villarreal.
So what we'll do is, who have you got? Sorry, you've went Alisson.
Alisson, mate.
Aye, so for me, I don't know if you'll be the same, but for me, they'll hold the best defensive record. The centre has to have got different class.
Mm-hmm.
Different class.
The
Mate,
fullbacks worry me.
Looking to the
Fullbacks
group,
worry
but
me.
Danilo's he's capable. He's
Capable, but
I
Danilo's the
understand,
best out of the four who's been
I think
took,
he's
and
a
he's
very
played
consistent player,
he's
didn't
played,
he?
He'll
he's
give
played
that
centre
solid
back
checks.
all
Yeah.
season. That's what my only issue with
I
that.
don't think they can see the goal in that group. I don't.
Wow. Against Serbia, Switzerland.
I tell
Right,
you what,
oh,
I tell you
surely
what,
this guy
that's
did-
your forfeit. If
That
they
is your
concede a goal,
forfeit.
that's your forfeit.
What was his first one?
See, you play it safe like me. You keep your cards close to your chest. Have a wee.
And
if
that's
you
why
wanna
he's
take
the
a wee-
moderator, ladies
No,
and
mate, because
gentlemen.
you would
Gander.
just go, I'm not doing it.
Mate,
I'm
no,
not doing it, mate.
mate,
I'm not
no,
doing it.
I'm fair.
I'm not doing it.
Listen. We won't get into specifics, but look at what was going on before this show started. Let's come on.
There was some questionable.
Oh,
Some questionable. Do you know what? I'll leave it at that.
Have
I'll
I
leave
missed
it at
this?
Aye, you
Um,
did miss it, mate. Aye.
Let's
that.
move
The-
on.
The snowman and that.
Let's move on.
Aye, let's move
Come
on.
on,
let's
we're
move
going to
on.
get cancelled before we even
who's,
started.
Who's your best young player of the tournament?
Enzo Fernandez
Enzo
from
Fernandez.
Argentina.
Good shout.
I think if any have watched Champions League this season, he was in a Benfica group, a team who topped the group
Mm-hmm.
with Juventus, PSG in it. With Giovanni Lo Celso being out of the competition now,
Mm.
he'll replace him. Lo Celso is their main midfielder who I didn't realise at all.
Aye.
He'll start in a midfield three with Paredes and Rodrigo de Paul,
Right. Okay.
and he will go. He's already done it for Man United this season. I think he'll be the young player.
Who are you saying young player is the tournament corner?
Pedri.
Pedri. Right. Okay.
Pedri. If Spain's going to do anything, it's going to be for Pedri.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. He's top.
Yeah, I
player.
agree.
He's a top player. Who are you saying?
I'm going with Olsen.
For Denmark.
Good
Good
shout.
shout. One to watch, by the
I
way.
think it's a fair shout.
I-
but how
watch.
far are Denmark going to go?
Right. Okay.
For me, maybe quarters or
Is
semis.
this the boy for Bruges?
Club
Yeah.
Brugge. Aye.
Aye,
Like-
is,
like
is, he
the
not, is, he
Rangers.
not, is he not 22?
15 games.
It's under 23, young player.
Is it?
15 games, 6 goals, 3 assists for Club Brugge. I get maybe no be the dazzling stats you see like towards your Neymars and that.
But again, sorry to interrupt. He was their key man in the
Yeah,
Champions League group.
100%.
Who I'm sure they finished top.
They finished top. Club Brugge finished
So
top.
there you go.
Unbeaten,
I
eh?
seen.
Oh, I don't know if that.
No,
I don't-
not-
I seen, I think,
lost.
They
you
could
like-
beat 4-0 against Porto, but I think that was their only
Was it?
I'm
Was it
lost.
for
You like something on Twitter because I had that already done and you did like something he's one to watch. I think we've got them coming in second. A couple of outstanding games against France and Australia gets you a big move.
Yeah,
Aye,
I suppose
Facts,
that's
aye.
fair. For me, I've went Musiala. I think he's been unbelievable
That is.
all season, and I think coming into this, he's going to be like similar to what you're saying about Pedri. But I think see with a wee bit of experience with him with Muller. See if Muller plays up front, which I think might happen, and he's just playing in behind. See just that knowledge of when to go.
Went a bit safe there, mate, didn't you?
No,
I've
it's
not played
safe.
safe
It's
at all.
like safe
Not
there,
played
mate.
safe at all.
I don't get safe. Do you know what it reminds me a lot of?
Who?
James Rodriguez.
Oh,
Yes,
Coming
mate,
into this
facts,
tournament,
100%.
I think this could be now. He's at a higher level right now than James Rodriguez was in the
I agree.
2014. But I
Can't
think this
disagree.
could take him up to the world class level, and he's what 19, 20?
Aye.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Let's go quick fire. Who's top goal scorer? Golden Boot.
Neymar.
Messi.
Golden Boot.
Yeah, Golden Boot. Neymar.
Oh, Golden Boot. I'm going Darwin Núñez.
Nunez. Oh.
As I said, I think he's going to be in the group stages, in the knockout rounds. That's when Neymar will show
Prevail.
his quality.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I went Lautaro Martinez.
That's a shout.
People, but listen,
It's a great
people,
shout.
people pit Messi right.
If it's
and
not Messi, it'll be like
I get Messi right, but Martinez is one of the players that see when he's on it, man, he's on it. And see in that group, so obviously we're talking earlier, 6 goals can win you the Golden Boot. He could get 3 or 4 in the
Just
group
group stages.
stage.
Saudi
Aye,
Arabia,
so-
Mexico, and Poland too. Defensively, that's probably the worst defensive group coming up against one
Aye,
of the best
yeah.
attacks.
I agree.
So
actually, that's
they
probably
two shouts are
that's a
Messi and
fair point.
Lautaro Martinez.
And for me, Messi
Right.
doesn't really play that role for Argentina anymore. He scored a hat trick in qualifying, and I think he scored 5 or 6 goals all in. But Martinez was one of the players. He'd pop up with a goal out of nothing, pop up with a goal out of
Yeah,
nothing,
I
score a
was-
penalty, pop up out of nothing.
I was very close at putting Lewandowski in because I think if Poland get through the group, that will be Lewandowski.
But are Poland going to score 3-4 goals a game where he's maybe going to pick up 2 of them? I don't think I see it.
I don't
but
think he scores more than one.
I think you got a couple. I think you got a couple.
But I do think they'll get through. But I don't think he'll score more than one.
I take it. VAR's introduced. VAR's still in.
Yeah.
Penalties go.
That's what I mean, mate.
What we'll say, golden ball,
I'm going Neymar.
Neymar.
Messi.
Messi. I've gone Neymar as well, but that's because I feel like Brazil are going to win it.
And I'm saying this now. Brazil win the World Cup with Neymar Golden Ball. He will win the Ballon d'Or.
That would boost him, mate. That would
He'll
definitely
win the Ballon
propel
d'Or,
him.
especially if he keeps his form with PSG. Because I think he's been
Aye.
the best at the 3.
Yeah.
I do. I do personally. I think he's
Do
been
we-
the best at the 3.
Do we think if Portugal were to go and win it or Argentina were to go and win it, does it settle the debate between Ronaldo and Messi?
I think the debate for me is already settled.
Aye, I think so. And we actually spoke about this not too long ago. See, for me, see if Ronaldo wins it, I think you can still make an argument that Messi's the best. But see if Messi wins it, I
There
don't
is
think you can
no
even
argument.
have an argument.
There's no argument.
So for me, like,
We actually spoke about that as well.
We did,
We
aye.
spoke about that as
for
well.
me, that sums up the argument in and of itself. Messi is heights that Ronaldo hasn't. Messi's got 3 seasons, excuse me, that are better than Cristiano Ronaldo's best season. And for me, that speaks
Well,
volumes.
see Messi's goal contributions this year.
Mhm.
Like Messi alone, the people are talking about, he's
I
not
know
really,
the
he's
stat-
not
I know
really
the
doing
stat
much.
you're going to give here as well.
Mate, right, see the front. In fact, I think it is actually the front 4, but I'll need to check it. If you talk about the front 3, if he plays Gabriel Jesus, right, Vinicius Junior, Gabriel Jesus, and Neymar, them combined goal contributions doesn't add up to Messi's alone this season.
Aye. So,
So
Golden Ball, we've got 3 Neymars, 1 Messi. What about the winners of the tournament, Craig?
Brazil.
Argentina. I've been biased all the way through
My
this,
heart
right?
says Argentina. I think everyone wants Argentina to win.
I think everyone wants Argentina.
But I just
I think Brazil, but it would be a nice written in the star story
Mhm.
for a 1000th game.
Listen, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Football throws these things up for a reason. I don't think it's any coincidence that. Thinking with my heart, I don't think it's any coincidence that Lionel Messi plays his 1000th game of professional football
Crazy.
in the World Cup final.
That
In
is
his
that right?
last ever World Cup.
Yeah. That's written in the
Football.
stars.
Surely.
It's written in the stars.
Football throws these things
Surely.
up. It's like Tavernier scored a penalty when Rickson passed away. Is that right? Number 2, right back, wee special moments. Celtic number 5, centre half scores the week that Billy McNeil passed away.
Yeah.
Wee things like that happen in football for a reason, and I don't think it's any. I'm going to contradict myself here. I don't think it's any coincidence that that's happening on Messi 1000th game. That's what I'm saying in my heart. But my head,
what are you saying then?
my head says.
What are
Brazil.
you
I
saying,
can't-
Jamie?
I can't-
What are you saying?
And do you know the thing that really annoys me? they can't meet in the final. They can only meet in the semis because they're in the same bracket. If they were to meet in the final, Messi's 1000th game, it would be the biggest game of football.
I still think
ever.
I still think if they
there,
meet
though, it is.
Portugal,
I still
beat
think
them,
if they meet them in the semis, it's the biggest game of football. It's all
I think the way, see the other, if you looked at the other side of the bracket with Argentina, it's not that strong. I think
until Brazil.
I don't think France are great, right? So for me, it's going to be Denmark or England in that final.
So we
Portugal and Serbia were the shouts as well. I think
Denmark and
Serbia.
England.
I think Serbia would beat England. I think Serbia would beat
I
England.
think so too, because I think England are draws.
No, I think England are the best out of the rest in that side.
I think France are better. I think Germany pose a fair argument as well, but
I think Germany and Spain are in the thingy side. I could be wrong.
no, because they'll go into one each because they're in the same group, so one will go into one and one will go into there. So I think that could go either way, but whatever one ends up in there, I think they're better than England. That's my personal view.
I think 30% of teams in this is better than England.
I think we can. For me, it's a Brazil-England final, but Brazil do beat them.
You think England get to the final?
I do.
I think Brazil will smoke
Look,
them.
I'm Scottish. I don't look. This is when you know it's an honest opinion because I don't want England to get out the group.
Yeah,
But
no, I think that's fair.
I'm
That's
speaking facts that I just think in tournament competitions, England are good.
I think I'm going to get a bit of
No,
back
no.
this year.
Yes, they are.
England are notoriously bad.
Potentially.
Under Southgate, a semi-final.
Mate, the last
and a
two,
final.
a final and a semi-final. I don't think
they
you
are
can
not
argue
good to
that.
watch. They're not good to watch. I think we can all agree on that. They're not good to watch.
No,
We've had it
but
back with two of the midfielders, but they grind
I
out
think-
results.
Like, so for me, like the England thing is what it is. We've obviously, I think we've covered it all pretty well. But for me, if we're talking specifics on that side, I just don't see England pitting these other teams.
That's fine.
I just don't see it. I think in whoever faces Brazil, I think are done for, man. I honestly think Brazil are a different animal this year. I honestly do.
It goes South America this World Cup.
Yeah.
Potentially, I don't know what the reason is for that. I don't know if it's the climate or if it's just the way that the teams are playing now. If
They're the
all
two
these
best
players-
natural teams in the world right now, I think.
I agree. I couldn't disagree.
I don't see anybody near like even the only one I can see that would surprise me and to get near them would be Netherlands. But apart from that, I don't.
I think they're easy to pick.
They're on for an outside shout. They're on for an outside shout. What to do then is I think that's pretty well summed up everything.
That's pretty much
But
it, isn't it?
we've still got one big matter to settle before we go up the road. One
3
big
pointers.
matter.
I
One
forgot
big
about
matter,
this
but
one.
3 big
No,
points.
Marker, because I'm gonna.
Aye, we both said two Scottish people here.
Aye, right.
So okay. So the third and final point. This player is a goalkeeper, right? So you know that. This player has played with Vedran Chorluka, Shaliam Logan, DeMarcus Beasley. This player has won a Scottish League Cup and an SPFL League title. And the last one, this player has won the Premier League with Manchester
Joe Hart.
City.
Fairs.
Do you know when?
He
Do you
got
know,
do you know?
When
do you know the reason why I thought
That's
that?
a great shout.
When did you play with Chorluka?
All 3 of them he played with at Manchester City. So
Do you know-
Manchester City.
Chorluka, Man City played.
He played with Chorluka.
Do you know I had such a feeling? See when
Shea Logan.
see when they said
I thought
Man
Chorluka
City.
was at Spurs.
Aye, was it and Man City? Shea
Man City.
Logan at Man City.
Shea Logan was at Man City, so they only played together in friendlies, but it still counts. They played together.
That's a
Or
big redemption for
2006.
me.
2006 it was they played. 2006 they played together.
That's a big
Unbelievable.
redemption, eh?
So
And I'm looking at Aberdeen.
I
So-
said Jamie Lang and Alan McGregor.
I don't even know who the fuck I said. To be honest.
is it even Jamie Lang? It's Jamie Langfield, Clangers.
He says, she say, mate. I won. Doesn't matter.
Aye,
Do you know what? Aye,
and
that's all that
Ben
matters.
takes the first points.
Ben takes the first.
The
point.
first 3 points.
The first big 3 points.
Well
So
done,
well
well
played,
done,
little boy. So thank you very much for listening,
Yeah,
guys.
fucking dick.
You'll find the links to all
Certainly
our
comes it.
social media channels down below. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure chatting.
Thank
with
Cheers,
you.
guys.
Absolute
Cheers.
pleasure, lads.
Hey yo! Hey yo! Hey yo! Hey yo! Need to know man's clean on the pitch. Tactical, can't deal with a flick. Magical, can't deal with the tricks. I'ma spin around and drop 100 skills in the pitch like yo. You wanna chill for a sec? Hit the post, man, appeal to the ref. VAR, can't deal with a check. I'ma follow man and mock a man and deal with